I had planned to sit down, as I am now, and to discuss Ben Whittaker versus Liam Cameron, the rematch. Give my thoughts on it. Me thinking it was going to be a 10 rounder, and me thinking that the dramas of the last fortnight had now well and truly ended. I'd heard last week that it all seemed like everything was happy and all that stuff with regards to this fight being a 10 rounder. Well, Liam Cameron has taken to X to say the following when you hear this. Boxer have my terms to accept the change the fight to 10 rounds, but they are refusing to send me a contract to vary the detail and are trying to suggest they can change the rounds without a contract. That's not good if that's the case. Going into fight week, not knowing how many rounds I'm fighting is a joke for me and for my opponent. As I post this, it is still a 12 round fight. He also says, second, and for my opponent, as I post this, it's still a 12 round fight. If you go on BoxRec, however, it does state that this is actually a 10 round fight as opposed to a 12 rounder. Now, this all kind of came to the forum a few weeks ago, might have been 2 weeks ago, where it was believed this was going to be a 12 round fight. It was said that was the original contract that was sent to Ben Whittaker, Liam Cameron, which Liam Cameron agreed to. It was then said that they wanted to amend it to a 10 rounder, which for me just kind of came across as a little bit strange when Liam Cameron was saying that in the first fight he felt that Ben Whittaker was slowing down, that he was feeling fatigued after only 5 rounds, and that maybe they felt that there's a stamina issue there and that potentially he couldn't actually do the full 12 rounds at a decent pace, that a 10 rounder is, a little bit, it's more to his advantage. And I would say I probably agree with that. I think Whittaker has been 10 rounds at least once. I know he's been the 8 round distance. He might have been the 10 round distance at least once. But 12 rounds, some people would say it's only an extra couple of rounds. It's only an extra, 6 minutes. But if you're in a really, really tough fight, you're not used to going that way. You maybe burn a lot of energy and stuff like that. It could be the difference between you actually getting the nod, you maybe getting stopped potentially. I doubt that'll happen, but you know what I mean. If it's a close fight, nip and tuck fight, you're ahead after 10, but you've lost it in the last 2 rounds because you didn't have the stamina, etc., etc., etc. So that was what Liam Cameron, I was going to say Ben Whittaker, that was what Liam Cameron was saying. Then we heard that they were, maybe willing to amend it down to a 10 rounder, but see that purse, maybe another 0 wouldn't go amiss. I'm just thinking outside the box, but you know what I mean. You're not just going to agree to change something without being compensated for that, you would imagine. And Liam Cameron is saying now that they can't just change it to a 10 rounder. He's going to dig his heels, and I would imagine Frank Warren is as well. If that is the case, this is really not a good look. This is not a good look for Ben Whittaker. Boxer, I mean, listen, Ben Shalom, since he's came into this sport, I've got very few good things to say about him. I really do. He's just come across. People want to say that Eddie Hearn, when he went to America, did things the wrong way, and you could argue he still had success over there. Ben Shalom has literally done everything wrong. He's lucky in a way that he has the Saudis. He's working with them. But when his own fighters like Chris Eubank Jr. are saying he's just okay, when fighters like Jack Catterall, Joseph Parker, just to name a few, some of them, Jack Catterall never even made his debut a boxer. I'd say he took one look at this place that Ben Shalom was running and said, what the hell have I just got into? Get me the hell out of here. I'd say he took one look at the place and was like, oh my God, this guy don't know what he's doing. And this right here is just wrong if this is the case. If it's a case of you've made a mistake with the original contract, you have to, it's an expensive mistake, but if you've made that mistake, if you want it down to a 10 rounder, you can't just change it without, sending the fighter a contract, especially if he's signed a deal for 12 rounds. If he's willing to amend it, but you're just going to amend it without, to me, this whole thing just reeks. It really does. I don't know what's going to happen, because in theory, you would say that Liam Cameron, if it is the case that it is moved to a 10 rounder and he's not conceded, the contract and anything like that, he's not, said, okay, look, I'm happy with what you're offering me in place. If they're just doing it and then they're like, tough, you get what you get, well then he is kind of in his right to say, jog on, and I ain't taking this fight. That's not me saying that's what I want to see. It isn't. I want to see this fight. I think it's a competitive fight. I think it's a good fight. But it's been it's not been good. It's not been a good build up to this fight in terms of that. And I hope this gets resolved because I want to see this fight. I want to give a prediction video on this fight. I'll do that probably tomorrow if we have a bit more clarity, or maybe this evening, who knows. I suspect we will get a 10-round fight, but Liam Cameron, he is digging his heels. And again, I can't really blame him. If he agreed to a 12-rounder and he's saying, okay, I'll agree to a 10-rounder provided, I want X, Y, and Z, well then, there you go. At the end of the day, if Boxer were the ones who made the mistake with the rounds, they should be saying, okay, look, we'll amend it. Thanks for working with us. And, what do you want for us to, what do you want from us, so to speak? Frank Warren, I don't think is going to allow this. And Liam Cameron, I think, is right to dig his heels. Especially if he said, I'm willing to do, and again, I'm just thinking outside the boxer, but I think if he said he's willing to do 10 rounds, providing he gets X, Y, and Z, you'd want that in writing, I mean, a verbal agreement, it can be binding if you go further, but you kind of need, you need witnesses on that one. So, yeah, not a good look. Let me know your thoughts, what's going on with this in the comment section below. As it stands, Liam Cameron is saying it's a 12-rounder. BoxRec, they're not gospels. They're not gospels. I mean, according to BoxRec, the WBA title never even existed. So they're having it down as a 10-rounder. Let's wait and see how this goes. For now, I'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed the video, people. Smash the like button if you could. Subscribe as always if you haven't already. Until next time, peace.